We are thrilled to be here for this momentous occasion, but I'm not going to tell you what the momentous occasion is. I'm here, I'm Dr. Zrike, Steve Zrike, Superintendent of Schools in Salem. Really proud to be here in Salem, especially on this day to recognize, for the special recognition. I do have the job of introducing our guests, and if I could, once I introduce you, if you could just wave so people know who you are. First, I want to introduce the principal of Witchcraft School, Miss Carmona. Where is she? There we go. I want to introduce our school committee members, Dr. Crispin Pangalo, Miss Mary Manning, and Miss Anna Nuncio. If you guys I'd like to introduce the president of the Salem Teachers Union, Miss Ann Berman, who's here. I'd also like to introduce City Councilor Domingo Dominguez, who's with us today. And then we're lucky to have a great representation at the State House. We have State Senator Joan Lovely, who's with us. Over here. State Representative Paul Tucker. We also have from the Department of Education, we have the Associate Commissioner Heather Pesky, who's here with us. We have Commissioner Jeff Riley, who's here with us. We have our Education Secretary for the state of Massachusetts, Mr. Jim Kaiser is here. And I want to also introduce the mayor of the city of Salem, Mayor Kim Driscoll. Okay, and at this time, I'm really pleased to introduce the governor of the Commonwealth and a friend of the city of Salem to make a special and exciting announcement this morning. Please join me in welcoming Governor Baker to the podium.
So thanks very much, Steve, and good morning, everybody. I won't make you scream good morning again because you did a pretty good job when Steve put it in front of you before. I do want to say how much I appreciate the opportunity to come back and spend some time here in Salem. I had a chance last year on a number of occasions to come visit schools, as it was more than complicated last year for everybody. And I just want to say that every time I came here, I was incredibly impressed with the level of effort, creativity, imagination, and commitment that I saw in every school building I visited. The teachers were terrific, the staff was great, and as somebody who also had to play my way through the same hand that so many of you were playing your way through, I just want to say congratulations to all of you for everything you did in a very difficult year last year. Thank you very much, especially when you And to the school committee members who are here, I just want to say that I often tell people in Swampscott that the reason I ran for the select board and served on the select board because the school committee was too hard. So if I thought it was too hard before the pandemic, I can't imagine what it must feel like for all of you. So thank you for your public service very much. We're here today to, among other things, recognize a great teacher and announcer as the Massachusetts 2022 Teacher of the Year. Now, we have about 400 school districts in Massachusetts and about 75,000 teachers, all of whom have had a lot to do with making Massachusetts a national leader in K-12 education. Out of all those teachers, about 189 of them were nominated to be Massachusetts Teacher of the Year this year. 11 eventually became semifinalists, and then we were down to 4 finalists. And the stories, particularly given how complicated last year was, for each of the finalists were extraordinary, and we're very lucky to have so many people here in the Commonwealth who did so much on behalf of their kids and their colleagues last year. And obviously for the selection committee, this is an exceptionally difficult year because those who made it through this process had demonstrated such amazing commitment and creativity to the kids that they were serving and educating. Now, among all of those amazing things in life are team sports. I think we would all agree with that. But there are always going to be a few people who help the team excel. And in this particular case, I think it's clear that Marta Garcia is one of those stars who helps the team excel. For the past 15 years, she's taught elementary school students in Salem English as a second language. She's the first Salem teacher to be named Massachusetts Teacher of the Year. And while she's a great teacher who does great work on behalf of the kids she serves, she's especially gifted at making sure that families here in Salem, whose first language is not English, are connected to the schools and have a sense of belonging here. She's a teacher who loves her students, loves their families, and works hard to make sure that her kids get all the support they need. Now, I told her when we came in that Mayor Driscoll and I had a chance to chat with some of her students before we came into the building, and they were all properly teed up to say all the right things about how much they love their teacher. So, because you all said such nice things to me and the mayor, I just want to give you a chance, if you choose to take it, to stand up, just you, and give your teacher a round of applause. Because you know what? Part of what makes a great teacher is having a chance to work with great kids. And I'm sure one of the things you're going to hear from your teacher when she gets up here is how much she loves having a chance to spend every day with all of you. Now, during the height of the crisis, she worked tirelessly to make sure that the families and the kids that she was working with had access to information in their native language. And she was, in many respects, that trusted source of information for so many of them. She teaches second and third grade students, but also works with her colleagues in other grades to make sure that their English learners throughout the school are supported. She helps her kids learn English and learn about American life, but she never wants them to forget their first language or their culture, because she knows that being bilingual and bicultural is a superpower, right? A little bit like being a Republican governor in a very big state. Very little bit, yeah. To you, Marta Garcia, on behalf of the Commonwealth, I just want to say congratulations on being named the 2022 Teacher of the Year here in Commonwealth, Massachusetts. Congratulations. We'll be hearing from the Teacher of the Year in a minute, but in the meantime, I want to introduce your mayor, Kimberly.
What a great honor to be here this morning. You know, education is, I'm fortunate as mayor to also be able to chair the school committee. And in Salem, education is the most important work we do in local government, frankly, in any city or town. It's the most investments that we make, not only in dollars and resources, but in the next generation of leaders who will stand here in these seats and stand in the seats that are, or sit in the seats that are in front of me right now. So we're grateful to be able to celebrate a big win, not just for Ms. Garcia, who's amazing, but I think her efforts and work are indicative of all of the teachers in our building, all of the support staff, all of the administration family, and our community here in Salem. For many years, she's been a leader in our school district Spanish language programs, heading up our dual language task force, coaching students during the city's English Learning Summer Academy, and teaching not only here at Witchcraft, but also at the Bentley Academy Innovation School's two-way dual language program. Her influence is not limited just to Salem students. The educational strategies and approaches have been adopted by other districts in Massachusetts, making a positive difference in the lives of countless children in the Commonwealth. Being named by the Massachusetts Department of Elementary Secondary Education and having the governor here, thank you very much, Governor, for taking time out of your busy schedule to be here to provide this award directly to Marta as the Math Teacher of the Year, is a distinction greatly deserved and demonstrates what a remarkable educator and person Marta is. I'm proud to call her a friend. She makes our schools better, our city better, our Commonwealth better, and our country better. I'm so grateful for her and her family that she has made Salem her home, and we hope to keep her here for many more years to come. As part of your honor today, I want to officially recognize your being named the Massachusetts Teacher of the Year, and I hereby declare October 6th, Marta Garcia Day. And as the governor mentioned, it really is a partnership that makes things work. And in Salem Public Schools, we've been fortunate to have a really strong partner in the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education. I'm pleased to be able to introduce Commissioner Riley. He was used to taking on challenges from his early days as a teacher and principal in Boston Public Schools, to his work as a receiver at Lawrence Public Schools. Commissioner Riley has never shied away from challenges and has always worked hard on behalf of kids, families, schools, and staff. This year, managing COVID probably presented the biggest challenge of his professional career. He did not shy away from it. He helped guide efforts through this, what I call, terrible, horrible, no good, very bad pandemic. We all are familiar with that book. And he was guided by using science and data to help all of us, the 351 cities and towns, educating school children across the Commonwealth in a way that ensured safety was a top priority. Salem Public Schools have benefited from innovative DESE grant fund dollars, as well as testing and two numerous partnerships to name. We're thrilled to have Commissioner Riley join us this morning, and it's my pleasure to introduce him.
Good morning, everyone. Before beginning, I just want to say that to echo the governor's comments, last year was a really tricky year for everyone, but Salem did a remarkable job. And the mayor, the superintendent, Rep. Tucker, Senator Lovely, they were kind of quarterbacking that, but the teachers and the nurses and the staff in the schools just did an amazing job. So I'd ask you to give them a round of applause. I was having a vigorous discussion with my 16-year-old daughter this morning about her fashion choices as she made her way to public school in Boston. And I tried to look on the bright side, which is when my daughter first started school, she had some academic challenges. She was going to need some additional supports. And we were worried about her. We were afraid that she wouldn't love school, but that was never the case. And the reality was that she was taken care of by the teachers down in Boston. And they really made her into the young lady she is today. And at the end of the day, teachers are really everything. I saw that the kids had statements ready for the governor today. I think that's great. But the only statement I needed to see was the multiple kids coming up and hugging Ms. Garcia this morning. And that's the only thing. I can tell you that she's trained the future generation of teachers. I can tell you that she's been a fierce advocate for bilingual, bicultural, multilingual, multicultural work. I can tell you that she's joined task forces, but at the end of the day, the only thing I can tell you is she's an amazing teacher. So congratulations once again, and I think I've got a set of flowers to give you as well. And with that, it's my honor to turn it over to Senator Lovely. Thank you, Senator.
morning, everyone. It is a pleasure to be here with all of you on this beautiful fall morning, after all the green screen we had, to really celebrate this amazing teacher. Marta Garcia, as we know, is an ESL teacher right here at Witchcraft, and she's been integral to educating our students and serving as a link for our community's bicultural and bilingual children and families. Always there to help our students navigate the school system and encourage them to pave the way for their own futures. It is at times like these that I'm reminded what a difference a good support system can make in the lives of our children. For many students here, Marta has been a critical part of that support system. And so I'm reminded of a quote by Nobel laureate and Pakistani activist Malala Yousafzai that I would like to share with you. I think it really fits. One book, one pen, one child, and one teacher can change the world. I know we can say without a doubt that Marta has changed the world for many of her students. Good teachers teach, but great teachers change lives. And Marta, you are really, truly a great teacher. So thank you to everyone and for everything that you've done for your community, for our students, past, present, and future. Congratulations. I also have a Senate citation here I'd like to present to you in honor of being named as the 2022 Massachusetts Teacher of the Year. Congratulations.
Thank you, Senator. Good morning, everybody. You know, I come here today as a member of the Massachusetts Legislature. I've had the good fortune to have served on the Education Committee for many years. I saw firsthand the work that Governor Baker's doing, Secretary Pizer, Commissioner Rowley, people that care very deeply about education. I think we're truly blessed in the Commonwealth. But when I come here today to Witchcraft High School, all I can think of is the word inspirational. I came here as a member of the legislature. I was here as a member of the police department. Every time I come here, or in any of the schools in Salem, I feel very inspired. And when I look at Ms. Garcia today, it makes me think of myself as a product of the Salem Public Schools, a proud product of the Salem Public Schools, where my Ms. Garcia was Mrs. Mulholland, Mrs. McCoy, Mrs. Siegel, Dr. Walsh, people who made an impact on me, just as Marta is making an impact on all the students that have stood before us today. When I look at them, I look in their eyes and I see their faces. I see the eagerness of being led by our wonderful public school teachers. I never ever miss the opportunity to say thank you. I'm a proud product of this public school system to watching these kids who are the next generation of our leaders, and that doesn't happen by accident. It happens because of people like Marta Garcia, the face of education today. And I hope you have enough room on your mantle because I have one more of these. And I think mine is a little bigger than the mayors and the senators. The House of Representatives, we do it a little bit bigger. So on behalf of Speaker Rowley and everybody, I want to thank you for what you're doing. I appreciate it very much.
All right, now I got the best job here. I get to introduce some students to come up, who is why Ms. Garcia is where Ms. Garcia turns her magic, not to steal the witchcraft theme here, magic. And I'm really pleased to introduce 5th grader Reetaj Abdul and 4th grader Lucy Toribio Disla to the podium, who will introduce our guests for our recognition of honor here. So come on up here.
Hello everybody, my name is Reetaj Abdul. I think Ms. Garcia is one of my favorite English teachers because she's amazing and we've done a lot of fun things together, and I'm proud of her because this is a big opportunity for her.
Marta Garcia.
Buenos días. Good morning. It was hard to keep this secret for this long. Here in Salem, we love to share our accomplishments because the success of one member of the community belongs to all of us. This recognition would have never been possible without the contributions of so many members of our public schools and the larger Salem community. I would like to thank the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education for this recognition, Dr. Zrike for his support and enthusiasm, my principals, Mona, Assistant Principal Nicole Mateo, and Multilingual Learners Department Director Andre Fonseca, I would love to see you, okay, for your grace and your leadership. I would also like to thank Rebecca Westlake, former director of the Multilingual Learner Department, for the nomination, for believing in me, and giving me the wings to grow as a professional, as a better person. A mi familia, Javier, Claudia, Jimena, por vuestra paciencia y por ser mis compañeros en este increíble viaje. A mis padres en España, por vuestro sacrificio y vuestro apoyo incondicional desde la distancia. To the Witchcraft community, you gave me so much. And my beloved PSL team, Multilingual Learner team, you are my family. And I would not be here without you. Gracias a mis maravillosas familias. Well, they are not here today. I'll be looking for them. They're essential workers. They're working now. And I want to give them a big round of applause. So I hope my words do justice to the feeling, to the multiple feelings I'm feeling today. It is an honor to represent Salem, and while doing so with an accent, the accent that is my superpower, our superpower, children. That of the multilingual community. Behind an accent, there is a story of overcoming struggle, of the desire to be an active part of the new culture and a new way to see the world. An accent is also a sign of another part of our identity, of another language, of the one that we use to speak with our mothers, the language that is fixed from the heart. The language that I want my students, all of you here, and my daughters, to never forget, to nurture, and to appreciate. Proficiency in English will open the doors to opportunities, to a successful life that we, immigrant parents, want for our children, but I also want everyone to recognize the strengths of the bilingual, multilingual students, those in dual language programs, those who are in ESL programs, those who have exited the programs, and those who were never identified as needing English as a second language support. They have so much to offer. How many lessons could they teach us if we let them? Throughout my career in Salem, I have worked at Bentley, Nathaniel Bowditch, and now at Witchcraft. I have moved schools because I always follow the most amazing group of kids. And I have experienced great teaching moments they have taught me. I want to share a few. Carlos, a newcomer from Honduras, taught me that he used to live with butterflies in his bedroom. He told me with profound nostalgia, se paraban en mi cabeza, en mis hombros, y revoloteaban en mi habitación. Butterflies would stand on my head, on my shoulders, and they would fly free in my exploring the life cycle of the butterfly in our classroom. And let's not forget our beautiful Emily, a newcomer from Brazil, who brought her new kitten to school in her backpack to share with her teacher and her friends, because she didn't know how to say, I have a new kitten. Her name is Bella, and I love her so much, in English. She put a big smile on our faces that day in the middle of teaching in the pandemic. Or Alex, who, when learning about the desert habitat, taught us how it is really dark and cold at night, and how you need to be careful because there are snakes, and the migra, the border patrol, are looking for people crossing to the US. I want to use the privilege of this platform to amplify these voices and the voices of our incredible immigrant bilingual parents who care deeply about the education of our children. After all, we have crossed oceans, have left loved ones behind, and chosen to be here for their future. Let's welcome them to our schools in authentic ways by giving them options, by understanding where they come from, not only geographically, but culturally, emotionally, and by learning about their value systems, their struggles and successes, and most importantly, what makes them happy. I encourage everyone to reflect on authentic, culturally responsive practices and assessments, and on teaching and following our multilingual students' learning experience in the US with empathy, with humility, and with humanity. Thank you. Gracias.
This little woman who is more humility than any educator, one of the most humble people I've ever met, had a chance to work with for the last year. The impact that she makes on the lives of so many students and families is unparalleled. It's a wonderful model for the educators in Salem. We have some of the best. I think we have the best in the Commonwealth. I can brag about that, but Marta exemplifies all of that. And she gives tremendous voice and access to many families and students who haven't traditionally had a voice and access. Her advocacy is making a huge impact on the direction of the district and the lives of countless kids. So while there's a lot of suits up here and people with fancy titles, these are the people like Marta, educators like Marta, that transform the life experience for so many families and students. I'd like to give her a few rounds of applause. At this time, I would love to invite all of you and extend an invitation for our guests to join us for a reception in the beautiful courtyard that Witchcraft Elementary has for our Massachusetts, sounds great, Salem's Massachusetts Teacher of the Year. Before we do that, I'm going to turn it back to the governor, who has, who I think will be taking some questions from the audience.
Yeah.
Can I actually start out with Marta for one moment?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Marta, this has been a year that none of us will ever forget, and I want to ask you the challenges this specific year in winning this award this year, and what you faced in being able to reach your students their families, given the trouble with connecting with people that we've all felt?
Can someone say that? I could not understand.
¿Eres
You said-
mejor o no?
Entonces, struggles with the pandemic.
Oh, with the pandemic. Ooh, we,
Difficulty communicating and connecting with people given all of the separation.
well, I have to say that Salem did a terrific job by connecting with families the day right after we closed the schools on March the 13th. Our first mission for all teachers was to try to communicate with our parents via any medium possible to make sure we knew who had internet access, who had devices, so we could start teaching as soon as we could. For many people, that was obviously, the pandemic, we all know, demonstrated the inequalities of people's access to technology, to language, in the case of my parents, because obviously, even with technology, even with access to devices, their access to English is very limited, so that was the mission of the ESL team here at Ridgecraft and across the city, was to try to make their learning accessible. Once we had the technology barrier solved, which in some cases took longer because we had to find the ways to connect them to the internet. Number one, devices were easier to make accessible because they were like within a week everybody had a Chromebook ready to go, but then the connectivity to the internet was difficult for some people. And even with all of that, navigating the different tools, Zoom, Google Classroom, it was really, really difficult. But I think in every possible way, I see it already, I see the whole ESL team here. We connected with parents in possible ways to make sure those kids had access to the instruction that they needed. For those who had no connectivity for some time, we created packets of work that was printed, great quality, accessible material for our language learners, multilingual students, and they were distributed along with the food that was given right away the day after the closing of the schools. There was different locations where food was distributed to the families. So with the food came those packets that students were able to complete on their own with minimal assistance from their parents. So I can say that yes, the inequalities existed. The accessibility showed how some people have more privilege than others, obviously, but we made everything in our power to have these students have the education that they deserve. That was in the spring of 2019 when the school opened. The next year, Dr. Zrike was extremely adamant to bring those kids to the buildings. Obviously, safety was the first priority, and it was done listening to the science. The school was ready. I was part of that program of hub labs where students came to the building with their Chromebooks, and they would connect with their homeroom teachers. I think here in the building, but they had teachers, ESL teachers for the most part, helping them not only navigate the technology, but also the content and the language. It was the first time these students were the most privileged students in the system, because they were here, we took care of them, we made sure they had the best opportunity to access the education, again, they deserve like everyone else. So I'm just so proud of having been part of that moment, because I felt that was the right thing to do. There was not a single episode of outbreaks in the rooms. If there was a quarantine situation in some of the rooms, was because the infection came from outside. So I have to say that the measures taken, what do you call it,
building and with the teachers via Zoom. I could be talking all day about this. So I'm gonna stop here. Yeah. And here we are, third year of teaching in the pandemic, and things are going very, very well. I just want to continue advocating for the families who are less privileged in terms of